CEOs discussing about business is one thing for sure. However, getting to know them in a more personal level is completely different. Today we're here with Michail Stahlhut, the CEO of Hupac Group, and we're about to meet the man behind the businessman. So how long are you the CEO of Hupac?
Of Hupac, now the CEO of the overall group, half a year. And I joined Hupac 2.5 years ago. I was responsible there for the first 2 years for the operational business. It's called Hupac Intermodal. That is the overall operations in Hupac. And then half a year ago, I stepped in, taking over the role of the CEO of the overall group. Pretty interesting, I must say, because being a railway nerd, I'm a railway nerd at least, and coming into the operational of the intermodal operations, it is much more market-driven, it's much more speed behind it, and it's really interesting.
It's very dynamic.
It's very dynamic.
Right?
I must say, taking a look at both sides of the world, one is the operator business, the other one is the railway business. As a railway, I was always thinking, I did my utmost best, and that's it. And taking a look now at the railway business, I would say, if railway is more performant, we could do much more. We could do so much more in Europe, and can shift much more from road to rail. Rail has to be more performant.
I understand. So, from what I understand now, how do you see your role as a CEO? Like, what impact would you like to make?
It is not always about me. It's about the team, and I must say that's a long learning curve. Being the young one coming from the university, you always say, "I know how how life is going, and I want to rule the world." But it's not one person only. It's at least always, like in soccer, like in basketball, like in volleyball, it's about the team. And coming into Switzerland, I guess it was for me the first really time that I have many high-skilled professionals all around me, and we decided how to create this SBB Cargo International company together. Then we said, you are responsible for that, you are there. I could enable, and maybe I could help in this or this various area. And that's the same now in Hupac. Again, many good, skilled people, a huge amount of intelligence inside the company. We know everything about Poland, even about Spain, about Turkey. And the role of a CEO for me is to enable, to open doors, and to be a helping hand.
In the eyes of the audience and in the eyes of journalists that are acquainted with the industry, you look like a very down-to-earth person. Has becoming a CEO changed your personality, or have you tried bringing your personal style and character at work?
That's a really good question. You have to ask my children or my wife. They're always complaining. I must say I'm the same since years, but I would say I'm the same. I'm knowing my background and knowing the area where I'm coming from, there wasn't a big difference in hierarchy if you're living in this or in this house and you're going on the street, you're playing football. If you can, I was really a bad player, I must say. And I was always responsible for pitching and for getting the balls and taking them back and on the field. But everybody has its role, and it doesn't depend to hierarchy. And there I'm coming from. Maybe now the areas or the cities, and even in Germany and in Switzerland, the cities are different and the behaviors are different. But I must say, I'm really normal. I'm the normal one. I'm not the bigger one. I'm not the one who needs the Medal of Honor in rail. Because I get it's always about a team, and it's not about one person only.
So you prefer a flat organization in the company?
Yes, and that's a good remark, Nikos. Because taking a look at my time at the big DB environment, I really like the guys working there. I have many friends in Deutsche Bahn Cargo. But these big environments, these big companies have so many hierarchy levels. I'm always asking myself, how is the idea from the top going down to the last shunter? Because you have to reach, you have to understand what the guys on the track are thinking. As I was responsible for the shunting yard in Mannheim, for this shunting area, I always try to discuss also with the Löser. That means the guys who are uncoupling and coupling, because you have to understand why a shift for them with 8 trains, making them also ill because of night shift, because of you are really heavy under pressure. You are doing a sweaty job, yeah? And then after one train you have to calm down, and then you sweat like hell, and then it's winter, and then and that means you have to create an environment where also the guys which are working can sit down and can do it not under a blue moon or under a blue sky, even if it's raining. Then it's not blue, it's gray. That means you have to understand what is needed, and then if you have several levels of hierarchy, it can also hinder an organization to speed up. And now, after Deutsche Bahn, I always worked in companies which were really limited in hierarchy, where you only have 1 or 2 levels, and that's it. And I guess I'm not the one for the big, for these big Mercedeses and for these big tankers. I'm maybe the one for these nice Hupacs and SW Cargo International.
How does a typical day at work look for you? Like, do you take any breaks? Do you start early in the morning? Do you finish late at night?
I'm pretty a nerd, I must say, because I'm starting not really early in the morning. Yeah? I'm starting in the morning at 6:30, 7, getting up, and then what everybody's doing. Now, getting older, I even take my time in the morning. In the past, I only took a black coffee and then go to work. Now I take 1 hour reading some emails in the morning. Yes, I'm eating one toast. I'm eating one toast. Drink my coffee, and now it's so nice where I'm living. I go out in my little garden and take a look at the Alps, and this in the morning is so enabling yourself, taking a look at the Alps, and then okay, it's not holiday, it's work, and then I get the energy, and then I can go down in the down because it's on the hill. I go down and in my office, and then starting with a short operational talk, then reading emails up to 9, then normally having meetings, and now you have so much meetings because of Corona, because everyone is deciding to make this online show. And in the past, you cannot jump from Antwerp to Warsaw and then go into Munich. Now, you are in Warsaw, Munich, and Antwerp in one day by having WebEx, Zoom, and all the other tools available. And then at 4 o'clock, I guess, I must say, at 4 o'clock, normally these shows says stopped. Then I'm reading. Then currently, I'm cooking myself, and then in the evening, I guess I'm reading. I'm really a late bird, not the early bird.
Till now in your career, what is the biggest hardship that you have faced and managed so far, and how did you react it? Have you ever found yourself with your back against the wall?
Yeah, I must say the Rastatt issue was the biggest impact ever. It is always the same in rail. At year end, I'm asking myself, and now nothing can come and can push me harder. And it's always the same. I'm going at the 31st in my bed, grow up at the 1st of January, and then crazy things are happening, crazy things. And the Rastatt thing, I must say, was the worst one. And I was starting at the first day. I said, okay, I have some ideas. And we created as a team bypass ideas. And then we said, okay, so much trains have to go via France, via Brenner, via the Rhine freight, the RFC2, that means the North Sea Mediterranean corridor, and maybe some about around the Gäubahn. And then every infrastructure manager was saying, no, doesn't work. And even in France, they told us, no, we are on holiday. And I was totally bothered. I was asking myself, that couldn't work. This is Europe. We have to sit together. And then we put so much pressure on it, and it came out a little, and it was starting a little by little. But nevertheless, the capacity which could be created could be much more higher than we really created in during this crisis.
So for the next 5 years, what would be your goals on a personal level, but also on a company level for Hupac?
I guess that during the next 5 years, there's a huge path for growth. A huge path for growth. Even now after Corona, we are still in Corona, but after Corona, I see a bigger demand compared to last year, compared to 2 years ago for rail. And now with the green discussion what we are facing in Europe, I guess there will be also some shippers which want to shift on rail. And then we have to take a look how we are doing also the intercontinental business on the Silk Road, and we have to connect Spain, because seeing Europe, and again I'm getting emotional, seeing Europe, you have these green areas like South Spain, like South Italy, like Greece, like even Turkey, which we can merge. And there are pipelines needed to link these industrial forces in these various areas. And these pipelines, for me, I'm pretty sure is rail. We can reduce the energy consumption with rail. We can bundle volumes. We can do last mile service on road, maybe with hydrogen lorries. And we need to understand the strengths of each mode. And like with this lorry, but we need to understand the strengths of each mode. And the strength of rail is to bundle volume. The strength of road is to go everywhere with one car, with one lorry. And if we understand this and do not complain against each other, then we can create something really big. And maybe we are an example for other continents how you can shift more on rail.